Hi, Adam Smale here. If you're just getting started on guitar, I want to share with you some things that I think will improve your guitar playing and save you a lot of time. If you want to cram 6 years of playing down to 3 to 4 months, then stick around because I'm going to show you some secrets that I teach my students. As always, below you'll find a free PDF directly related to the material in this video. Muting. Muting is so important. When playing the guitar, muting comes from a combination of right and left hands. If you sound like this, then you totally need to work on muting. Using only open strings, play 4 notes per string. I should explain, this fleshy part of your thumb, you're going to actually use that and rest right on the strings. And you want just a little tiny back and forth motion like this, because we're only playing 1 string at a time. We're not strumming chords. And the motion's going to go like this, okay? Now, when I move to the 5th string, I'm resting on the 6th string and thusly muting it. And as I follow through, so when I get to the next string, it stops the previous string from ringing automatically. When you come back the other direction, it's going to be with the left hand that's going to do the muting. So on the way back, I'm just going to lightly lay my first finger on the string. And you don't have these strings ringing over top of each other like that poorly played example at the beginning. So now you want to keep this first finger right where it is all the time. So it's a combination of left hand first finger, right hand meaty part of your thumb. Way cleaner, no notes ringing over the top of each other. Practice that. Get good at that. Learning songs. A lot of YouTubers never mention this, but I think it's important. Stop learning 1 or 2 riffs from a bunch of songs and learn the whole damn song, would you? I know. Like anything, it'll seem daunting at first, but imagine the sense of accomplishment you'll feel. Remember, each time you learn a new song, it gets easier while your confidence level grows. I mean, it's really hard to impress people with just licks. People want to hear songs. And how can you jam with people or be in a band if you know 0 songs? That leads me to my next topic. Play with other people. It's the best way to improve, especially when you play with people who are at some level better than you. This should also teach you 2 really important things. 1, how to stay in time with everyone else. 2, it teaches you how to listen, which teaches you how to stay in time with everyone else, which teaches you how to listen. Make sense? It usually takes years to have good technique through playing alone without focusing on technique separately. It's important that you practice all of these exercises with a metronome unless otherwise stated. Finger independence. Now we're going to add in the left hand to the mix. So what you do now is you're only going to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, okay? So that's another thing to learn, hammer-ons and pull-offs. You start with the plucked note on the 6th string. 4 notes per string. And like I said before, Make sure you practice this with a metronome. This helps develop time with your left hand. Now you slide up a fret, and then remember, a hammer-on is to get to a higher note. It doesn't matter with what finger. To get to a pull-off, gets to a lower note. So now we slide up one fret, and we do pull-offs. After a while, you'll get faster and faster at it. The next pattern to play would be 1, 4, 3, 2. So all hammer-ons and pull-offs. So it's going to be hammer-on, then a pull-off, pull-off. Pluck note, hammer-on, pull-off, pull-off. When you slide up one fret, it's going to be opposite. Pull-off, hammer, hammer. Pull-off, hammer, hammer, hammer. And then finally, the third one to do would be this. Go 1, 3, 2, 4. So it's going to be hammer on, pull off, hammer on. Pluck, hammer on, pull off, hammer on. When you come back down, the opposite. 4, 2, 3, 1. So pull off, hammer, pull off, pluck, pull off, hammer, pull off, and just keep the sequence going. And I would work all the way up the neck and all the way back down. The next variation on this exercise, you hold down a finger and then do the same sequence that you did before. This time, you're not hammering and pulling off the notes. You're actually going to pick each note. So you're going to come back and pick that note. So it's going to be... back down. If down here in the first position is too much of a stretch, even I'm feeling it a little bit, you can move up to the 3rd fret or 5th fret, and it'll be a little bit easier, and move down 1 fret at a time until you get used to it. Then do the same sequence, holding down your 3rd finger, and then try it with holding down your 2nd finger and then holding down your 1st finger. Great exercise. Now, this was shown to me by a classical guitarist, and it's a good one. For ultimate finger independence, what you do is you plant fingers 1, 2, and 3, and 4 on your 3rd string, the G string, with my 1st finger at the 5th fret. Keep 3 fingers planted while you move 1. Starting with your 1st finger, you're going to go 5th string, 2nd string, 5th string, 2nd string, then 6, 1, 6, 1, 5, 2, 5, 2, 6, 1, 6, 1. And the idea is not to have a whole lot of arm movement. It's mostly use your fingers. Send all your brain power into moving just your fingers. So then, now you're going to hold down fingers 1, 3, and 4, and you're only going to move finger 2. Same sequence. 5, 2, 6, 1. Then hold down those 3 fingers, 1, 2, and 4, and just move. And then hold down fingers 1, 2, 3. Because that's the shortest finger, try to maintain as little amount of movement as possible. Use most of the energy with your finger. You will develop finger independence, dexterity, and more efficient way to move your fingers. Next level of that exercise is to hold down 2 fingers while you move 2 in opposing motion. So while the first finger is going to be on string 2, the second finger is going to be on string 5. And then they switch. And then back to 6-1, again like that. And then hold down your 2 outside fingers. It's not supposed to sound pretty. And then now hold down fingers 1 and 2, and I'm only going to move 3 and 4. Ah, it's tough. I haven't practiced this actually for a lot of years. And then there's many more combinations you can do. You can hold down these 2 fingers while and then hold down these 2 fingers. And then hold down these 2 fingers. Now normally I would probably start practicing this a little bit slower so that I could be more accurate with it. This exercise will get you control of your fingers fast.
Hey.
What do you want, Uncle Slim? Can't you see I'm busy here?
I just wanted to let yous all know that he used to be really good at all this carry-on, but now he's too busy making vidges for you.
Thanks for that great service announcement, Slim.
No problem, you little
Oh boy. So, moving on. Picking accuracy and speed. We worked on our left-hand timing. Now it's time to work on the right hand. If you want to work on speed and accuracy, you need to focus on the mechanics of what your right hand is doing. Or, sorry for you lefties out there, but your picking hand. You have to focus on what your picking hand is doing. A good way to do this is isolate your picking to just 1 string at a time. We're going to start with the 3rd string, G, okay? We're going to pick 16th notes. And again, it should be with the click. If the beat would be here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm playing 4 pick strokes per beat, and always start with a downstroke. I'm going to actually pick the first note in the sequence. But only the first note, so of the grouping of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you need to be focusing on is the sweep of your right hand. You don't want to be moving it too much. Here we go. What most people do is when they want to go fast is they tense up. What you have to do is the exact opposite, is relax. You can do the single string picking exercises on any string. Matter of fact, move it around to different strings. You might do something like this. Next. Now, after you've reached your speed plateau.
Plateau? That sounds European.
Slim, try doing speed bursts without the metronome for a couple of days. Then come back to working with the metronome again, and I guarantee you'll be breaking that barrier you just had days ago. I'm going to post bonus video drills with these particular exercises that will only be available on my Patreon page. If you'd like to access this bonus material, all you have to do is click on my Patreon link below, and for $10 a month, you'll have access to all my bonus material. Now, I should mention here that many of these exercises should be done with a certain amount of caution. It takes a while to build up strength and stamina if you're not used to doing this, and it could do damage. So don't overdo it. Be careful. String skipping. This is similar to the last exercise, but your picking hand has to make wider sweeps, but they have to be just as accurate in order to skip strings. This is a great exercise based on a major 7 sharp 11 chord. Now I'm just going to start here on G, and it's going to go like this. I'm going to start on the 6th string, jump up to the 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, back to the 1st. And then to loop back down, we have to repeat the first string again. So instead of repeating that same note, we're going to go down here. Now I know it looks complicated, but it's not really that complicated once you get it, once you just play it a few times. So you can rewind the video a little bit, and I've got the tabs written out there for you. Once you get this under your fingers, a great thing to do is just keep sliding up 1 fret at a time. Learn the fretboard. You gotta know your fretboard. I'm a big supporter of learning things up and down each individual string. It really helps you learn the whole fretboard while eliminating blind spots lurking in the dark corners. You could just name the notes to yourself. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. Do that on every string. Then start adding in sharps and flats. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Come back down. E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. Do that on every string. Isolate just sharps and flats. This is going to be C sharp, D flat, D sharp, E flat, F sharp, G flat, G sharp, A flat, A sharp, B flat, C sharp, D flat, D sharp, E flat. And do that on every string. Go as far as you can handle. But you eventually want to definitely master the whole neck. By the way, starting at the $3 level at Patreon, you will have access to the PDF lesson on how to practice this exercise. You can practice scales. By doing the natural notes, you are practicing a C major scale, but you can practice all your scales. Okay, well, I'll go through the cycle of fourths. If I played C major scale this time, now I'll play F major scale. E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E. And then B flat. So since B flat doesn't have an E flat in it, the lowest note I can do is F. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A, G, F. So on and so forth. Practice arpeggios. A C major 7 arpeggio, a C7 arpeggio, a C minor 7. You'll quickly learn the fretboard, and you're killing two birds with one stone because you're learning scales. You're learning where the notes are. You're learning arpeggios, the sequence of the notes, because you have to think fast. Chord changing. A lot of people struggle with this when they're first starting out. Use pivot fingers. It will get you transitioning between chords much faster if you start using pivot fingers. The concept of pivot fingers is simply this. If you already have a finger that's on the same string as the next chord, then leave it on that string. Don't lift it off just to put it back down on the same string again. I cover this and a few more things in this video. Check it out for more in-depth info. Let's say we're starting with an A chord. I'm going to keep as many fingers on a string as I can utilizing the pivot fingers. So I'm going to slide that finger over to play a G. I'm going to leave it there to play the C add 9. And I'm going to leave it there to play D. Okay? But now, I don't have any, well, I do have the first finger, so I'm going to slide that down 1 fret to E. I'm going to leave my second finger here to B7. Leave it there for E minor. Leave it there again for E7. And I'm going to keep that same shape. I'm going to move to A minor 7. And then D7 sus, D, slide back over to G. So notice I used 2 different Gs. It's good to know both. Depends what kind of situation you're in. So if I'm on this D7, I can use that finger to slide back over. So here's what the sequence would sound like. Vibrato and bending. Practicing vibrato is important to get some personalization into your sound. You have strings that bend, so bend them a little. The main reason why some people's vibrato sounds not so good is 1, they move too fast. 2, their movement is not even, or both. Think of the string as being center, and you want to move in both directions from center evenly. So if this is center, you want to move evenly. Bending and vibrato is similar because you're literally bending the string. The reason why we use vibrato is to express emotion and to give notes a singing quality. And maybe you didn't realize this, but you can bend a note and give it some vibrato once it's bent. If your finger is moving evenly, it will sound even. As far as vibrato, I like to use 2-3 fingers to really get in there and gives you a lot of control. Same thing with bending. So let's move on to bending next. The sort of more of an Eric Clapton type of bend, I guess, which is Normally I always have my thumb and fingers curled around, but when it comes to bending, you gotta get your hand in a different position, get your thumb up high, and you have more leverage this way. You can't release the pressure of your fingers on the strings. You have to keep the pressure down, or I can't even do it. It's trained my fingers to do it. But you have to keep the pressure down to maintain the string touching the fret. Bending. One of the best guitarists with tasteful, in-tune bends is none other than Larry Carlton. This lesson comes directly from Mr. 335. Do this on as many strings as you can. Pick something like a major scale. Test the note. The bonus is that it really helps your ear. Speaking of ears, play along to recordings. And then when you play along to recordings, try to figure things out as much as possible by ear. I know it's challenging, especially at first, but like anything else, you will get better over time. Don't argue with me on this. Trust me, just do it. I'm telling you, it's good for your ear. Be open-minded. Don't be afraid of learning different styles. Anything from country and bluegrass to jazz to metal. Learn it all. Grab little bits of information from here and there. There are a lot of great musicians out there playing all kinds of music that you can learn from. When I was a kid, Eddie Van Halen was a huge influence on me, but I don't sound anything like him. That's because he always used to preach about getting your own sound, and I really took that to heart. The more styles you draw from, the more unique you will sound. And trust me, that's a good thing.